Hi guys. I want all Nigerians to avoid BOKKU MART. You get why? I have my reasons. Over time we've been blinded by ethnic bigotries and ethnic slurs and ethnic differences. We've allowed ourselves to be used against one another in the name of ethnicity, and some people cash out, especially the politicians. Now, I've listened to this BOKKU argument over the ethnic slur against the Igbos by the adverts by BOKKU MART. Now, some Igbos rise and then they started saying Igbos avoid BOKKU MART. Now, Yorubas have risen to the defense of BOKKU MART. Now, let's look at it this way. Before BOKKU MART comes out, I don't know, I think just recently, we have more than 1,000 supermarkets scattered all over Lagos. Now, this supermarket is owned by Yorubas, Igbos, Benis, Hausas, and different people. Nobody knows who owns which one. I don't know the supermarket owned by Igbos. I don't know the ones owned by Yorubas and stuff like that. And I've been patronizing. Nigerians have been patronizing. You are coming back, you just dash into one supermarket and you buy what you want to buy. Why did BOKKU think that they will come out to use ethnic slur? The reason is they want to divide the market. They want the Yorubas they want to earn the sympathy of the Yorubas to come and patronize them. Okay? They want to play on Yoruba sympathy, to patronize them, and then avoid Igbo's own supermarkets. Now, they know Igbos will react. So they throw their dice and it worked. Igbos are reacting. For me, I don't see it that way. I see it as outside trying to gain sales. It's more of the ethnic division. We've said it before. There is these gangsters from Lagos State, basically established by our president, as a way of to gain division, to divide us. And they are succeeding. You don't get to hear this kind of thing from either Ekiti, Ogun. It's only domicile in Lagos. If you watch closely, I know some people are very good at digging. If you dig, you will find out that this BOKKU MART is owned by a politician. Might be owned by a politician. Okay, so I'm not surprised that above trying to insult the Igbos, there's political undertone. Now, this government, Nigerians don't like this government, both Yorubas. In fact, if this government should survive another 4 years, I'm not sure Nigerians can survive it. If you like, deceive yourself. The hardship, in fact, you might even start experiencing kwashoko. That's the truth of the matter. So take it or you leave it, that's the truth. Now, they are trying to see what the Yorubas did not vote, at least in Lagos. Our president did not win Lagos. So they are trying their best to instigate the Yorubas against the Igbos so that during election, it will be a tribal thing. And I'll be so disappointed if the Yorubas and the Igbos allow them succeed in this. Now, Yorubas, we've had a lot of supermarkets before BOKKU come on board, owned by Edos. Now, Yorubas have started campaigning. Yorubas are stupid. You see the way Igbos are, coming together to fight. Yorubas don't fight. So what are they saying? Yorubas fight and patronize BOKKU. Now, let me ask Yorubas that are saying this. If you now fight to patronize BOKKU, what about other supermarkets owned by other Yoruba people? What happens? I will not be surprised. Somebody that owns a supermarket we leave her own supermarket to go and patronize BOKKU just to show solidarity because we are Yoruba. And this is how your own supermarket will collapse. You see, When we Nigerians grow to know that the more you pursue Igbos, the more you fail, because Igbos have been hardened. They know how to take the hits and come out of it. You don't. Okay, let's take it this way. The popular supermarket I patronize in my area is owned by an Edo man. Okay, let's take it this way. You can't beat Igbos to. If you see, what is happening now is the federal government is using federal might against us. Otherwise, you can't beat us to it. You want to fight, you can't beat us to it. You want to work hard, you can't beat us to it. You want education, if we are ready for something, you can't beat us to it. Let's do this analysis. When the thing will start, it won't take Igbos 2 weeks to identify all Igbos owned supermarkets all over Lagos. And they will tell their people, oh, these are the Igbo owned supermarkets. Patronize it, leave their own. Now, Yorubas, now who are you going to patronize? Are you now going to abandon the supermarket owned by your people to now patronize BOKKU MART? So what happens to the rest of Yorubas that own supermarkets? Who will patronize them? Now, Yorubas, okay, patronize your own Igbo, who will now patronize Edo? Edo is just one state. The supermarket I patronize in my area is owned by a doman. Now, if they say everybody patronize your own, I will now leave him. All Igbos that have been buying from him will leave him. All Yorubas buying from him will leave him. Who buys from him? What of a supermarket that will be owned by an Ogoni man? Because they say they are not Igbo. And we agree you are not Igbo. So no problem, they cause fights. Who will not patronize Ogoni people? Even Ikwere that said they are not Igbo. Who will patronize Ikwere? Now, in this our Edo, Yoruba too dey Edo. Edo is small. Igbo also dey Edo. Who will patronize them? Kogi State is mixed. Who will patronize all these minorities that own supermarkets? And now, Yorubas, who will you now patronize? Are you going to abandon the rest of the BOKKU MARTs and now start? And are you going to abandon the rest of Yorubas that own supermarkets and now start patronizing your BOKKU? Since you are all you are now saying that Igbos have come together. Oh, were you expecting Igbos to tolerate that bullshit, that nonsense? Of course, we won't do that. So now, what is the solution? Since we have a lot of supermarkets before BOKKU come on board, owned by Yorubas, by Edos, by Igbos, and we do not have any problem patronizing one another. I think, please share this and let it go viral. I think what we should do, Yorubas, arise. Let us stop letting these people use ethnicity to divide us. Now, you will rush to BOKKU to patronize BOKKU. The owner of BOKKU is cashing out. All right? The owner of BOKKU is cashing out. What happens to the rest of your brothers that own supermarkets? Because the way Yorubas behave, is our Yoruba, they will even leave their own to go to BOKKU because their Yoruba say, Igbo say they will not buy from BOKKU. Oh, let us go and be buying from BOKKU. They will leave their own to fall. That is the problem of this country. My Yoruba brothers, how many things have you gathered together to do against Igbo that backfired on you? You are not talking to a minority ethnic group here. You are talking to a major stakeholder, ethnic group in Nigeria. Is it because of all the nonsense policies they are doing, abusing federal character? Should you see the waka? Leave them. We ignore them. Do you think you can survive? The Yoruba nation can survive the way we've been surviving with all the nonsense policies. So, it is high time we come together to fight these monsters that are fighting us. If you look closely, BOKKU MART will be owned by a politician. And they are trying their best to divide us. Let's say no to bad government because their policy will affect both you and me. When they will use this ethnicity, if they want to use us, they want to benefit. They will know where they come from. But when they enter there, they will start sharing the national cake among themselves. So what are we going to do to this saga? Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, because when they say Igbo, it is from Edo. So Edo, Urobo, Ishekiri, Ejo, Opobo, Ogoni, all those minorities that are calling you, you better accept, so that you will have a bigger umbrella that will cover you. Because they'll be saying this about Igbos, you will keep quiet and enter. When it backfires, it will affect you. The Edo man that owns a supermarket in my area, when the boycotting starts, if you don't speak out, if Edos don't speak out, if Isheki don't speak out, if Ogoni don't speak out, if Ijo don't speak out, when the thing started, it go backfire on you, because we will gather and support ourselves. Who will support you? Your supermarket will fall. In fact, now the minority supermarket will start falling. Because if all Nigerians does not rise and boycott BOKKU MART, we Igbos will list out supermarkets owned by Igbos, and we will gladly patronize our people. Yorubas, please patronize your people. Then what happens to the minority? And the Yorubas, do you think if you now start patronizing yourself, the advert of BOKKU will not work? Because what they were trying to say is they want to instigate this fight so that Yorubas will boycott supermarkets owned by Igbos. Now, when you now boycott, we boycott, who will help? Because I've seen some gullible Yoruba people rising to actually start joining. I saw somebody said, Igbos are saying, if we don't buy their bread, it's not agege bread they used to eat. Who owns agege bread? Are you ashamed of a bread you own? It's not true that own agege bread. You're not telling us when Leventis started. Instead of you to rise and join your voice and condemn BOKKU MART, do you know if we start implementing this thing that BOKKU MART raised, who will lose? A lot of innocent people that suffered to raise their businesses will lose. And you will see the Igbos you are fighting, they will even flourish the more, because we've been patronizing everybody. So by the time we narrow our patronesses by the time we narrow to patronize our own people, you will see that it will turn to blessing. And then you will now start struggling and sharing yourselves. And then Edos will pack up. Other minorities will pack up. Don't you think these people are destroying this country? They will accuse Igbos of destroying the country. But when you look closely, they are the ones destroying the country and condoling and supporting this nonsense. A young Yoruba girl just rose up one day and said, Igbos are migrants in Lagos. Is that not treason? And the federal government is looking for who to try for treason. Nnamdi Kanu is standing trial for speaking the truth, for describing Nigeria for what it is. A whole media head to the president said Igbos cannot be allowed to vote in Lagos. Is that not treason? Is he not dividing Nigeria then? What is more treason than that? Nigerians, until we rise and join our voices together to fight these monsters that has come upon us, when they are doing nonsense, they will look for distraction. They will throw in one thing for distraction. I stand by either Nigerians rise and boycott BOKKU MART, or Igbos boycott Yoruba supermarkets and patronize Igbo supermarket. Yorubas boycott Igbo supermarket and patronize your supermarket. Let us live like that if it is all right. If BOKKU MART, Yorubas rise to support this nonsense that BOKKU MART did, Igbos rise, patronize your supermarket. Let them patronize their supermarket. Thank you very much.